Welcome everyone to the final round of our Division 2 championship here in Zoom Racing League. We are here in Great Britain. Of course, the Silverstone circuit would be the perfect stage for our finale in tonight's race. Let's take a look at the track here in 1 second. We'll take a look at the Ferris wheel first. Let's take a look at the track anytime now. And here we are. So, 3.660 miles, 18 turns, 2 DRS zones. Pretty good overtaking opportunities here into, I believe it's either Woodcut or Brooklands, and then into Stowe Corner, of course. Not Cops Corner. We figured that out in 2021. But, before that, we have full qualifying here in Silverstone. So while we wait for the lobby to finish up here, getting ready, let's take a look at our standings. So, of course, John Ranger is leading P1 with 206 points, and then 10 points behind is It's Shry. Then it's Josh Mulder, Jack Fletcher, Blake, Nick Hamrick, combined YouTuber, Mateo, and then Chubb Tucker, who's actually won his first race of the season in China last time out, and then behind him was on the podium Trent H. Then Thomas Busby, then it's Mac, then Eric McNerney, Merck, Labib, Sid, BMF, Arrow, Spinini, and Sway. And then for the Constructors' Championship, we have Mercedes leading by 33 points. It is still possible for Ferrari to win, but will take quite a bit of mathematics to figure out how they would do so tonight. Then behind them is Alfa Romeo, and then it's Williams, Red Bull, McLaren, AlphaTauri, Aston Martin, Alpine, and Haas. But of course, our championship fight for the drivers is not over. So let me read to you some circumstances. We have 4 people who can win this drivers' championship here tonight. So let's go through all the circumstances that we need for each of these drivers to be a winner. So, John Ranger, P2 or higher, no matter what happens, he will be the world champion. Then, if he finishes P3, It's Shry P1 would result in a tie that John Ranger would win due to more wins. So pretty much that's how he's going to win. Then for It's Shry, it's a bit more complicated. There's 3 different outcomes here. Actually, there's a lot of different outcomes. So let's go through what happens if It's Shry finishes P1. What does he need to win the championship? He needs John Ranger to finish P4 or lower, or John Ranger can finish P3, and Shry would have to have the fastest lap. If Shry finishes P2, John Ranger would have to finish P6 or below, or finish P6, and then Shry would need the fastest lap. Then if Shry finishes P3, John Ranger would have to finish P8 or lower, and Josh Mulder would need to finish P2 or lower. Let's go on to the cases for that man, Josh Mulder. P1, he needs to finish P1 with John Ranger finishing P7. It's Shry finishes P3 or lower, and Josh Mulder would need the fastest lap. John Ranger finishes P8. This is still assuming Josh Mulder wins it. John Ranger finishes P8, and It's Shry finishes P3 or lower. P2 finish for Josh Mulder would have to have John Ranger finishing P10 or lower, and It's Shry finishing P6 or lower. And then, only one outcome for Jack Fletcher will give him a championship. And that will be if he finishes P1 and John Ranger finishes P18 or lower, It's Shry finishes P9 or lower, and Josh Mulder finishes P4 or lower. So, very complicated numbers, but that is how. We do have a few people that are reserving, one of which is HDR Diamond, just coming out of the pit lane now. He has commented that it's 1 a.m. where he lives, and instead of sleeping, he's racing Zoom Racing League. The man has lost it, but it is okay. I love the dedication. So here we go. We'll go on board with some driver on a hot lap. I think it will be Eric McNerney who we go on board with. We go in through Cops Corner now, then Maggots and Beckett's is next. So flick right, or flick left, flick right, and then flick left again, and then why not right again. 5th gear through there. I feel like he could have been more on the edge there, but taking the outside curve nicely and down to Stowe Corner. Here we go. This is a very nice straight for overtaking. Run the outside, down the inside. What do you want to do through this corner here at Stowe? It's really up to you. You can get it done either way. and he has a Ferrari ahead of him on a hot lap, I believe on intermediates. So Eric McNerney, can he beat a 26.4, which is the fastest time right now? He cannot. He does a 26.7. Average in the Haas goes with a 26.4, right behind Trent H, who is our current leader right now. Nadewell behind the pair. Fletcher done with his hot lap on the intermediate tires, 129.6. Not going to be representative of his pace. If it was, then he'd have no chance of winning the championship, but luckily he'll be running on soft soon. Full qualifying, as I said, so we have 3 rounds of qualifying, so it's going to be 18 minutes for this first one, which we've already taken up 5 minutes of. Then for the second one, it is going to be 15 minutes, and then for the last one, it will be 12 minutes. All alone in the booth today, so no Luke for us, but he has just let us know good luck, and he's finished all of his jobs for tonight. I don't really know what that means, but he's out. Anyways, Chubb Tucker going P1 in the Mercedes, a 25.7. We were looking for some people that would dip into the 25s, and he is one of them. Sway is not, though, but he does go fastest out of everyone else that's not Chubb Tucker, if you understand what I mean. We do have a Ferrari of Matteo on the intermediate tires, who's finishing up a hot lap. Not really expecting too much from this lap. Did have someone to shoot up the times a little bit. I believe that was Mac in the Aston Martin going P2 with a 26.1. So not a bad lap from him, but still about 4/10 off from the Mercedes ahead. Meanwhile, we do have a Red Bull. I believe that is BMF, who's invalidated his lap. He's actually going to go back into the pits, but he's there. Just wanted to let you know. Meanwhile, HDR Diamonds, one of our reserve drivers today on the soft tires, about to finish his hot lap. 4th gear through here. Interesting technique there. But he's gotten it to the line, and it'll be a 26.1, so not a bad lap at all. Only 9 milliseconds behind the Aston Martin of Mac. But let us look at the Mercedes garage. They are ready to bring someone back in, but I'm waiting for the one driver to take him out. Or, I'm waiting for the one driver to be taken out of the garage, and that is, of course, John Ranger. So he'll have to wait a little bit to go out. Meanwhile, we do have the famous Logan Sargent in our Williams. I will come back to you in a moment to just let you know who that is. Well, he's around anyway, so never mind, I'm not going to say that. Anyways, let's see here. Yeah, Josh Mulder is not here, so he will not win the championship. That is very unfortunate. Don't be afraid, though. It's Try, John Ranger, and Jack Fletcher are still here, though, so that makes it a bit easier for everyone else. Yeah, I'm not sure who this Williams is. Must have just hopped in, I guess. But Logan Sargent, I mean, it's a well-known name, so here we are. Meanwhile, we do have a Red Bull, if I can find the Red Bull. Starting the lap, Nick Hamrick, a bit more exciting to watch here. I mean, it's been an interesting season for Nick Hamrick, hasn't it? He's had lots of strange moments. We know he has pace. He can be P4 every race if something doesn't go wrong for him. But it normally tends to go wrong for him. So we'll see if anything happens to him tonight. Hopefully not. Of course, we wouldn't wish that on any drivers other than, let's see here. Think of some names. Freddie Razzle. But, yeah. So number 72 on the Red Bull going down to Cops Corner now. Should be flat out in qualifying. If he lifts, then that will be the reason why he loses all this time here. But yeah, 8th gear. Car on the inside, letting him by. Then to Megan back. Let's go on board to see the speed through these corners. Pretty much flat out as you like there. Through the left right, I mean, not the whole thing. But yeah, back on the power. And he's going down to the line. He's got purple sector too. So this could be a good lap for the Red Bull driver. Really wanting to push the car through still corner. If you push it too hard though, you will just spin out. The corner loses traction if you get on the power way too early. So 4th gear, short shifting as always. Then final corner, it's going to be a 25.5. So good for P1 for Nick Hamrick right now. Good lap from the Red Bull driver. That's exactly what the team boss would like. Meanwhile, Spanini just starting a lap. Alpine have been in kind of a weird situation. They have decently fast drivers. I'd say ones that can get P7 pretty normally. Both of them. And yet they don't really seem to be doing that at all. Same with Haas. I mean, they have quick drivers, but it's never really put on the results sheet the way that they would want it to be. But yeah, number 7, the Alpine is going for it. Again, flat out using some of the curb on the outside, I should say. Downshifting a little bit. I'm not sure if that would have been beneficial. Yellow flag, sector 2, but that's just for Red Bull letting the Alfa Romeo by. A little bit wide of that last apex for Spanini. He is about a 10th behind where Nick Hamrick was on his lap. So we'll keep on going with Alpine. Let's get an outside view of this corner. Taking it very nicely, not drifting wide at all. And then it's into the Vale chicane. It's going to be a left and then a right, and then you want to keep the power pretty gentle here until you can lay it down on the floor. And there you go. It's going to be a 26-1 for the Alpine driver. Meanwhile, Mac just starting a lap. There's a yellow flag for a Haas. I believe that's for average, and it is, but doesn't seem to have done anything too wrong in particular. We do have, I believe that was Matteo, who could be starting a lap unless he just spun the car in Stowe corner. I did not get to see that. Anyways, he's just gonna start it up again then. Matteo, not a bad driver. I've heard rumors that he is at a little bit of a wall with this track, but I believe that he can break that wall. Anyways, trying to get out of the bottom 5. He's currently P15, so he could make it. Meanwhile, we do have John Ranger going through Stowe corner now. He's 3/10 ahead of where Nick Hamrick was, so this could be a great lap. Going through with the Mercedes now. The championship leader. How far can he get? It will be good enough for P1. No, it won't actually. Wow. I completely said it would be good for P1, just expecting him to make it, but he's only 3 milliseconds ahead of his teammate. Had a rapid second sector and wasn't able to back it up in the 3rd. It's Shirai, his championship rival, meanwhile goes P5, so interesting. Meanwhile, we do have, I believe, that's an Alpine who's gonna be starting a lap soon. We do have a Ferrari just behind him. We saw Matteo, invalidated again, so no bueno for the Ferrari driver. We'll have to go out again. Bottom 5 right now, combined YouTuber who might actually be on the lap here. So let's see what combined can do. No, he's not a bottom 5 driver, but where can he put his car? P5 is the answer, not a bad lap from him whatsoever. Well, let's see who's on the lap. I believe Jack Fletcher was, but now he's lifted off. Let's take a look. Nadewell is going to be starting a lap soon. Do we have anyone on a lap right now? I think the Haas of average is going wide of Stowe corner, and he's actually going to come into the pits here right behind John Ranger. Meanwhile, BMF is on a lap right now. Does he go into the pits? Yes, he does. Then it try on an in lap. Do we have anyone on the hot lap? We might have Buzzgod on the hot lap. Yes, we do. Here he is, the best British driver that we have in our league. Then going through the Vale chicane. Is that what number on that car? Number 16. Number 15 must be. And then coming to the line, only good for P15. So maybe his status as the best British driver is going to be revoked because of the likes of Simon Colston. Anyways, the Williams of Logan Sargent, I'm just going to refer to him as that because that's all I have as a name on an outlap. Nadewell in P12 has actually gone fastest apparently in the second sector, currently P12 right now. Not quite sure if I believe that. Oh, he spun the car in Stowe corner. He's kept it out of any walls, which would, I mean, you would expect with how big the runoff zone is there, and he's used that well. But he was pushing the car quite well, and if that purple sector 2 was true, then that could have been a good lap had he not spun. Okay, final runs of Q1 coming up soon now. Let's take a look at Matteo here. He's on an outlap right now. I believe he's going to be the only one on an outlap, other than this Alfa Romeo who's just come out, and that is Eric McNerney. Just take a little bit of a camera angle of the Ferrari here. Certainly pushing the car on his outlap. Doing anything to get these tires hot from the lap that he needs to get him out of the bottom 5. Currently P19 right now for Matteo, so definitely needs to improve. We'll just do a nice silent lap because I don't want to talk. Just kidding. Just so you can enjoy the noise of these F1 cars. And so the Ferrari finishes P10. That would be good enough to get him out of the bottom 5, hopefully. Still loads of drivers to be finishing their laps. So with 14 seconds remaining on the clock, I believe our top 6 will be safe. Above that, though, I'm not too sure. Currently bottom 5. Oh, the Buzzcut's not going to make it to the line, so he's done with qualifying. BMF, meanwhile, is going through the old start-finish straight down to Cobb's Corner. Meanwhile, this Bubby in the Haas has finished his qualifying session as well. Logan Sargent also done, and now the qualifying. Merck is done with qualifying. So BMF needs to really get out of this spot here. He's 1 and a bit tense up here. So through Sector 2, what's it going to be for the Red Bull driver? Was he able to improve enough to maybe get him out? He's 2 tenths up, and that would be good enough for P12 right now. But other than that, everyone except Nadewell is safe, so let's see. Meanwhile, Nadewell is also on his own lap, just over 0 seconds up. So BMF will come to the line, and will this lap be good enough to get him out of the bottom 5? Yes, it will. Nadewell has to get himself out now, and if he does get himself out, he's about a tenth up. he could knock Trent H out, and that would be the finale for the qualifying knockout stage in Q1. And Nate will make it out of the bottom 5, so Trent H is done in qualifying. We thought for a second BMF would be out, but no. Meanwhile, Mateo doesn't really seem to be comfortable where he's at right now, but I believe the young driver, who I think had his first win this season, let me just confirm that. Yeah, it was Las Vegas, wasn't it? Yes, Mateo had his first win in Las Vegas this season. Currently not quite on that form, but I believe he can bring it back. But Nick Hammer tops the session with, I believe it was 2 laps from him. Meanwhile, it's Mac and P2, then the 2 Mercedes. Diamonds, the reserve driver, didn't do too bad of a job. P5 for him. Alrighty. So that is the end of Q1. Now we will wait. Nick Hammock, P1, then it's Mac, John Ranger, Chubb Tucker, Diamonds, Spanini, Fletcher, Combined YouTuber, Nadewell, Shry, Average, Eric McNerney, BMF, Mateo, Sway, and then our bottom 5 who are knocked out of qualifying are Trent, Buzzgod, Merck, Logan Sargent, and Spubby. So, that is how Q1 has gone so far. But we have a little bit to go in qualifying still. Then we have 26 laps of racing action. Here we go. It looks even more sunny than it was in Q1. So we will continue on with our qualifying action. Let's continue on. Alrighty. So we got cars coming out of the pit lane now. It tries the first one out of the pit lane. And will be going for his first hot lap shortly. I believe with qualifying, full qualifying, we should have an estimated used run and then a new run in most of our qualifying sessions. It really depends on the drivers with the strategy that they choose, but we will see. Taking the Williams very slowly. Last year in Williams, both McLaren and Williams ran special liveries at the Silverstone Grand Prix. Of course, the McLarens had that beautiful chrome livery, and the Williams had a United Kingdom flag on the engine cover of the car. So as we get ready for some qualifying action, we just have it try going now. And here we go. First lap of qualifying 2 is underway. So for it try, it's going to be flat out as you like. 7th gear, for him in first 2 corners. Then tricky braking zone into 3rd gear and keep it right. Very hard to rotate the car here, and especially here too, going very wide of that apex. So just trying to get these tires into temperature as he does his hot lap, and then down the first straight. And here we go. Got a car on the left and a car ahead, but I don't think either of those will be too worrying. Down all the way to 4th gear, hits the apex. It's a late apex, and then you want to line up. You want to go away from the apex here and then bring it back. And then kind of want to take that curb on the right, just be as close as you can to the right side of the track until now, which you take Cop's corner flat out in 8th gear, easy as you like. Maybe not in the race, but we will have to see. Then it's left, and then it's right, and then it's going to be left again. Keep it close to the left so you can flick it right here, and down to the DRS zone here for the next straight. It's going to be a 102.7 through the 2nd sector, I should say 1st and 2nd sector. Then through Stowe corner, will these tires have the grip to hold on with Shirai's throttle input? Yes, very easily the Williams keeps it on track. And then through the left, and then the right soon. What kind of lap time will it be? It's a bit wide off that final curb, but anyways, down to the line, it's going to be a 126.4 for the Williams driver. Then we have an Alfa Romeo. It's not him, it's HDR Diamonds who goes P2. Then it will be an AlphaTauri who's starting a lap. I think it's Matteo who's going to go through it next to start an actual, or finish an actual lap, I should say. What time will it be? It'll be a 26.9. That's on used tires. And then it's going to be not Chubb Tucker, but John Ranger who goes P1 with a 26.3. Then there's going to be a McLaren soon, but first it will be Chubb Tucker in the Mercedes. Goes P1 ahead of his teammate. Then Nadewell is going to go next across the line, P4 for him. And then in Aston Martin, that is a Mac, and he goes P2. He's been fast all weekend. And then it'll be Eric McNerney who goes 6th fastest. Next it'll be Average who will go across the line through Stowe corner, through qualifying. Didn't look anything like his name would tell us, but we'll have to see. And he goes P4, so not a bad lap from Average at all. Next, the Ferrari of Jack Fletcher will start a lap. And then everyone else will be coming in shortly. The McLaren of Sway is on the lap and doesn't look too tidy through the Magnussen-Beckett chicane. He's about 3/10 down on everyone ahead of him. Nick Hamrick, though, going through Stowe corner now in the Red Bull, does have something to say. He topped the first session, so will he be able to do the same in his Red Bull? With this lap, it will be a 25.7, so good lap from him. I don't know whether that was unused or new tires. Might have been new tires, but I don't think so. 25.3 was his lap on new tires, so now 4/10s, that would make sense. Alright, let's see if anyone else is on a lap. Spanini is going, well, he's going pretty wide and brings it back all the way in 2nd gear, so interesting from the Alpine, but it will be flat out as it is for everyone through this next corner. Hardly even a corner. Flat out as you like, as I said. Keep on going. Through Stowe corner, brings it down to 5th gear. There's a Red Bull who's around us at BMF. Yes, it was. We'll go back with Spanini, though. Through the Vale chicane, 3rd gear instead of 4th, as he did last time, I believe. But short shifting up, a little bit of loss of traction, but across the line it'll be a 26.2. So, good from the Alpine. Red Bulls will both come in now. So we'll have to see what goes on here. Do have a couple people on an out lap. I believe Shirai is going out for one now. Not sure what his run plan is, but does look a bit different than what we normally expect. Normally it's only 2 runs here, but that does seem a little bit early. Right now at least. Tribe will start the lap now. He was the first one out in qualifying. Well, to start a lap, I should say. And so here we go. Try on new tires this time. Still flat out through that corner. Honestly, I'd go 8th gear, but I'm not really sure how that works. Then through the right and then the left now. Doesn't miss the apex as he did last time. He's got lots more grip than he did around this second lap. Going a tiny bit wide of the apex there though, so not sure what's going on there. I believe we have audio of someone else's dog. I'm not sure who that is. I might be tripping. I'm not sure though. I swear I just heard a dog barking and it was not me, and I saw it pick up on the game too, so very interesting. But we're back. Try going down to Stowe Corner now is going to be the first lap done on soft tires that are new. So can he beat Nick Hamrick? That is the question. Good on the brakes from the Williams. Wants to win the championship tonight, but what kind of lap can he do to produce that kind of result? Only one good enough for P3, so don't know what Jack Fletcher did, but it was good enough to stay ahead of Try. But here we go. Pretty aggressive on the gears here for the Alfa Romeo of HDR Diamonds, and he's a second down on what we normally expect through these sectors. So what will it be for the Alfa Romeo? Running a bit out of sequence, I must say. Went pretty heavy on the revs though, I must say. Was quite good enough for the representative lap, but however, we will go on. No one really out on track right now. Nadewell won't be doing anything too soon, at least I imagine. So we'll just wait. 3 minutes left of Q2. We'll only get more exciting from here because we'll have the top 10 shootout soon. But until then, we wait. So here we go. Cars are going to start coming out now. Nadewell is going to be one of the first people to set a final hot lap here in Q2. So we'll go on board with him for now, going through the first sector. Currently P9, so barely safe from elimination here. Of course, Q3 is the top 10 shootout, not a top anything lower than 10 shootout. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but you know. Keep on going on here with the McLaren. Through Maggots and Beckett's. What kind of improvement will it be? He needs quite a decent one. It has to be at least 2/10 to improve in any position for Nadewell. So, oh, as he spun the car. That is going to be it for Nadewell. Okay, I've found the source of the dog. This puppy has what I'd imagine is a Chihuahua. He's just going ham. I don't know what that dog's saying, but it's just not happy. Here we go.
Please stop.
Please stop is correct, but here we go. Now with the removal of the dog, Nadewell wasn't able to improve. Maybe the dog should have not barked. I'd imagine that distracts all the drivers that have voice chat enabled, which I did. I don't think I was supposed to have it on, but I did. Average currently P8 right now. Don't think he has the battery on, so not sure what his plan is. Don't think he can get to the line unless he completely cuts the Beckett chicane. That could be the strat, but I don't think he will, because it is quite bumpy, so I'd find it hard to imagine that he keeps it on track while attempting to run over all of the curbs. We'll keep on going. Anyways, let's take a look at some laps being done. Jack Fletcher did one good enough for P2. I believe he's still on one. So we'll keep on moving. To the right, a little bit wide of the apex, but he has the line to keep it going, but backs off anyway. It's Ryan Williams is still on lap. Then so is Chubb Tucker. Mac. Let's take a look at our bottom 5 though. BMF is one of them. Not sure what kind of improvement we're looking for him here. Hasn't set a lap yet. It's a 27.4 first sector. Meanwhile, let's see what HDR Diamonds does. 1:25.6 from him. It's a 27.2 for Diamonds in the first sector. Sway's already gone through it, and it's a 27.4 for him. Eric McNerney going through the Maggots and Beckett's now. So Nadewell is currently the driver at risk here, and Enrique McNuby, Eric McNerney will not be able to challenge that risk. Combined YouTuber might though. So going through the JaVale chicane for the AlphaTauri. Itchry goes P1 by the way. AlphaTauri for combined YouTuber. He's going to cross the line now, and he's going to be good for P7. So Nadewell will be knocked out of qualifying. So will Eric McNerney. So will Sway. Diamonds and BMF are going to have to put in their best attempts to get this done here. BMF going to cross the line soon here. Couple seconds, but will it be good enough? Is it good enough for? It's good enough to get out of the bottom 5. P10, but Diamonds, does he have something to say? And I believe his first race of Zoom Racing League, he does. Yes, goes P4, knocks BMF out, and good lap from the Alfa Romeo driver. Forgot who the Alfa Romeo team principal is, but I'm sure they're happy right now. More than decent from the Alfa Romeo driver, though. P1 for Mac in the end. Pretty surprising from him. But our P1 man in Q1, Nick Hamrick, I believe only set 1 lap, so that could be why. Don't think he's out of qualifying just yet, or at least out of the picture for pole position, of course. Everyone in the top 10 is now going to advance through, and eliminated was BMF, Average, and I already forgot. I think Nadewell, Sway, and someone else I forgot already. Enrique McNoobie is who it was on the medium tires. Didn't get to set a lap on the soft tires. But we'll continue on without him. Ferrari and Mercedes, the only teams to have both cars in. And then other than that, it's Mack and Aston Martin, Williams, Itchrai. Then it's Alfa Romeo of Diamonds. Then it's Nick Hamrick and Combine YouTuber and Spanini that are not part of the two teams that, yeah, that were able to get both cars in Q3 is what I'm trying to say. English is on point today. Loads of yapping from the on-track announcer at Silverstone, but I'll let it slide for now. Here Mercedes firing up, I believe it is. Actually, no, that'd be Ferrari. And that is the Ferrari of Jack Fletcher's going to be coming out soon. Never mind, I'm completely lying. So first goes the Alpine of Spanini. Do we see anyone else coming out? Do we see some action in the Mercedes garage? And I believe that's for both sides of the garage. So both Mercedes will be coming out now. Chubb Tucker is going to be behind John Ranger here. Take a look for any more action. We'll go on board with the Alpine of Spanini here. So, about 10 minutes to just have pure pace here. That's what this session is all about. So let's see what these drivers can do here. Of course, using the brake warming technique, or the tire warming technique that uses the braking, I should say. Very, very common in this game. And this is our last race on this game, by the way. Well, for each division there will be. Because the release of F124 is very soon, so we gotta get ready for that game. And I haven't had the most fun time on those handling models over there, but not sure how other people feel about them. Starting the first hot lap of the session, Spanini not a bad driver. As I said, probably around P7 is where I'd expect him to finish here tonight. But anything can happen in the race, and especially Silverstone. We can have plenty of action all day long at Silverstone, so be ready for anything. Still kind of taking a wide line through that corner there. He's kind of been close to the apex, or close. I don't really know how to explain this, but he's been close on entry, and that kind of lets him run wide on exit, so that's kind of what we see from him. Continue on now. There's the Ferrari on the left side, 102.677 from the entire thing. then through the Vale chicane, one for the penultimate time, I'd imagine, on a hot lap. Going to be a 26-1 for the Alpine driver. Not bad at all. Well, let's see who else is going to be finishing the lap. Mac is, and I believe will go faster to 26-0 for him. And then Ferrari Matteo is not on a lap. John Ranger is, though. And he'll go fastest with a 25-7. Chubb Tucker behind him is going to finish his lap 2. So what will it be for the other Mercedes, who's gained pace over the season, I have to say. It's going to be a 25-8. So good job from both Mercedes, currently front row lockout provisionally, of course. My YouTuber, don't think we'll have much to say about that, but we'll see anyway. So 26-6 for Combined YouTuber. Meanwhile, Nick Hammer continues his nice pace with a 25-1. So I'm going to assume that's on new tires. I'm going to assume that the Red Bull is going for a double new run in Q3. 6 minutes left, so we'll be racing soon. Meanwhile, the Ferraris are still yet to set their laps. Matteo going through Stoke Corner now. Wasn't a bad second sector for him. Taking the curbs pretty nicely and across the line. What will it be for the Ferrari driver? It will be a 25-6, so good for P2. I believe he's broken that wall that he was talking about earlier. Actually, no, he hasn't. Not close. Meanwhile, his teammate, who does have a chance at winning the championship tonight, Jack Fletcher, could possibly win it all, but he does need a good qualifying performance to start it off, so let's take a look. And pretty much he needs it try to have a bomb of a race and John Ranger to retire for him to win it. Josh Mulder's out of the picture, so does need a bit of a miracle, but miracles happen in F1. A little bit hesitant or on the throttle, so no bueno for him. But it'll go down to the Vale chicane anyway. We'll go left and he'll go right to finish off his lap. It's a very long right-hander, as we know. Gonna be easy to lose traction there in the race, but we'll see. Good enough for P2 right now. It's a 25-3. So good laps from both Ferrari drivers. Not bad at all. Let's see if anyone else is on the lap. HDR Diamond's 9 seconds up on his previous time. I mean, wow. It's probably gonna be around P8 here. My math isn't that good, and he's gone completely wide and invalidated. So I guess he just does not care anymore. Going into neutral for the pits even. So 4 minutes left of qualifying. We'll have to see. Alright. I think I hear a car coming out. What car could that be? Is that going to be the Mercedes of John Ranger, who will come out first? I believe it will be. So Jack Fletcher's into the pits here. But I'm just waiting for everyone to come out of the pits. John Ranger, as I said, is going to be one of the first out. Really wants to get his track position done, so coming out around 3 minutes of the pit lane. Here we go. Meanwhile, everyone else kind of starts to get out of the pit lane here. So, Spanini, then the other Mercedes of Chubb Tucker, and then it will be Mack in between the two, or after them, I should say. Then Red Bull of Nick Hamrick, the real dominant force here today, ahead by 2/10 in qualifying. But can he translate that into race pace? We'll have to see. As I said, crazy stuff happens to Nick Hamrick. Normally tends to go that way for him in the race, but we'll see. Anything can happen, but that doesn't mean anything bad necessarily has to happen. Now the Mercedes, Chubb Tucker, I believe, is getting out of the way for everyone. Not sure why. Alright, so first laps will be starting soon. Actually, they already have started. So for the Mercedes, the John Ranger, it's going to be a good improvement. They'll have to take him up to pole position. Currently only half a tenth up on his previous time though. So will it be good enough for him? Let's take a look at it. Try. What's he doing? It's up a tenth for him. Then the Ferrari of Matteo flying down towards the first sector checkpoint, and it's going to be a tenth up for him as well. So everyone improving so far. Spanini will be the next one to be improving to the first sector. We'll have to see. And I did not catch what he did, honestly. But we'll go back on board with John Ranger, who's going to go through the second sector checkpoint. Now, qualifying is now over. Everyone across the line. 3/10 up for John Ranger. That's good enough for not even P2. So he's going to have to improve a lot through this final sector. Maybe he had a moment in the final sector last time out. And now, as he goes through stroke corner, he'll see the delta going up. But we do not know until he crosses the line. So the Mercedes cross the line, championship leader, but where is he on terms of the grid position? It's going to be good for P2, just behind Nick Hamrick. What else is there to be said for pole position tonight? Itchrai is going to cross the line next. What's it going to be for him? It's good for P4, but not good enough for pole position. Matteo is now going to cross the line. It's good for P4 to knock down Itchrai. That's going to be huge for the two Ferraris if they start next to each other. Then the Alpine of Spanini is going to be next. Max spins in stoke corner. Mack is around and he's going to stay P7 if he doesn't get demoted. Spanini, of all people, goes P3. Great lap from him. Nick Hamrick currently on pole position, but can he extend his margin? It looks like he's up a tenth. So what will it be for the Red Bull driver? As he crosses the line, it's going to be good for a 1:24.8. That is a mega lap from the Red Bull driver. And then next, it was Combined YouTuber and then Chubb Tucker. It might have something to say here. If I can find him, it's only good for P8. HDR Diamonds is invalidated, so this is our order. Nick Hamrick, John Ranger, and then it's Spanini, and then the two Ferraris, then Itchrai, Combined YouTuber, Chubb Tucker, Mack, and Diamonds. Great qualifying 3. Nick Hamrick was on top of it though. He's ahead by 3 and more tenths, more than 3/10 I should say. And a great job from the Red Bull driver ahead of the Mercedes driver, but it is of course similar to what we saw on that one day. Will we see a big shocker in terms of wheel-to-wheel contact on lap 1 between a Mercedes and a Red Bull? We'll have to see. And will it be the Mercedes' fault once again? We'll have to see. I love starting controversy. And so qualifying is over here in Great Britain. But of course we have still the race to come. Alright, so this is our order. Already gone through it. Like I said, dominant from Nick Hamrick, but of course the race is still here to come, so we'll have to see what goes on. We are about to go racing. We see the pit lane. It looks very, very sunny. So, we are waiting for the lights to come on. One final time in Zoom Racing League's Division 2 on F123. So we will have to see. Alrighty. So, I believe we will have the lights on very soon. We see maybe mediums, maybe softs here. I believe it could be medium soft with the strategy here. I've cracked a cold one open for John Ranger already. He said he's going to do some strange things to me once the race is over. But we will have to see. Could it be the championship for John Ranger, the one he's been waiting for so long? Or could it be the first time championship for Jack Fletcher? Could it be the same for a try? We'll have to see. These racers have given it everything the whole season long, but it comes down to this. Lights out, and away we go. So down into turn one. The Red Bull gets good off the line. The Mercedes doesn't get quite the start that he wants. He's getting closer to the Red Bull, but not close enough. Side by side through the first corner, four at the back two. Do we have anyone going off? No, the two Ferraris are going side by side though through the next corner, and then the Williams of Vitry will try and follow through on the number 3 Ferrari, and then there is a bit of an incident in the back, but we won't see what's going on until we keep going. Back to the lead of the race. John Ranger knows this is his opportunity to make the position very quickly, but he won't. It's not a thing whether he gets a chance to weave or not, but it's going to be behind the Red Bull for now. Meanwhile, Spanini gets passed by Jack Fletcher, who's already up into P3, doing good progress on his championship fight, and meanwhile Matteo is battling away with the Williams of Vitry. He knows that passing this Williams or maybe making something happen is going to be crucial for his teammate championship fight, so he'll continue on side by side around the outside through Copse. He's doing a great job of defending from the Williams driver now, and he's going to have the advantage going into the Maggots and Beckett chicane. He's done a great job so far for Ferrari, but will he keep on doing so as we go down to Stowe Corner? Meanwhile, in the back, do we see any action going on? Doesn't look like we do, so we'll go back to this fight here. The Ferrari pulls away. Matteo is pulling away from Itray, and now he's trying to approach the Alpine of Spanini, but he doesn't get it. He did have a look down the inside, but it wasn't good enough. So now he's back under pressure from the Williams driver. This Williams needs to get held up if Jack Fletcher needs to win this. Then BMF goes around the outside of the Vale chicane around Chubb Tucker. That's a big move from the Red Bull driver. Let's take a look at our position changes. BMF up 3 positions so far. Average has lost 8, and he's our biggest loser of the night so far. We'll keep on going. Back on board with Matteo. It does look like the Ferrari is going to go a bit wide here. So will the Williams be able to follow him through? It doesn't look like he will. Ferrari actually got a huge exit, and Spanini will be overtaken by Matteo here. So it looks like Ferrari are going to run 3 and 4 here, and that could be very crucial to their championship fights. That is the biggest story so far. John Ranger is P2 and Itchry is P6. So it is all still on the table for the championship fight. Right now, favor goes to John Ranger, of course, though, who is under pressure from the other Ferrari of Jack Fletcher. So this could be very, very huge. Look at the gap that Jack Fletcher has pulled on his teammate being behind the Mercedes. They're pulling away here. I would want Matteo to be in DRS if I were Jack Fletcher, but I am not sure. Doesn't look too fast. By the way, Jack Fletcher started on the soft tires, and Matteo has started on the medium tires, so they are on alternate strategies. Meanwhile, Itchry gets past Spanini, and Matteo knows he needs to get back into this DRS, because look how much battery he's used compared to his teammate. 70% for Fletcher, 20% for Matteo. Behind, like I said, the Williams gets past not combined YouTuber, but Spanini, and the Alpine is falling back a little bit. Let's keep on going back as we see the fastest laps go on. Let's look at our front here as DRS is enabled for the first time in this race. John Ranger charging away. He knows he needs to get the lead of the race and try and pull away as fast as he can before Jack Fletcher and Matteo get on his back, but he does have a bit of a moment out of that corner there. So following him through are the two Ferraris, but John Ranger will not be close enough in this instance here. Let's keep on going back a little bit. We have Sway, who may be challenging in the McLaren. Could get a switch back on the AlphaTauri, but he really didn't get that entry right, and now he's kind of sliding along. So now Spubby, first time racer here, is going to try go side by side through cops. They are still running side by side, so let's go on board with the McLaren. He knows that he's going to have to let the Haas go, but could he get a switch back with the traction that he's got? He's just barely alongside, but now we'll have to concede to the Haas. Meanwhile, let's go back to the front as we go to our second DRS zone of the lap. John Ranger is charging away at the Red Bull. He does have the run. Will he go inside or outside? It'll be inside line for John Ranger. Nick Hamrick keeps it around the outside. We go on this camera, and Nick Hamrick looks like he's going to stay ahead. But will he be able to defend from the Mercedes? Yes, he will. Great defense from the Red Bull, but now the line goes better for the Mercedes. Won't get the run that he needs to through this next corner, but good defense for the first lap for the Red Bull. Could see a surprise move, because now that the Red Bull knows to defend against this Mercedes, John Ranger might have to pull a surprise out of his bag of tricks. Another snap for John Ranger out of that corner, though. It's the same thing that we saw last lap, so now he'll go for the lead of the race, and it looks like he'll have it a lot easier than he did on the previous lap. So now the Ferrari of Jack Fletcher needs to clear the Red Bull, and they make contact. He really needs to clear this Red Bull if he wants to continue his fight with John Ranger. Doesn't have the traction to really get the run on the Red Bull that he needs, but these two may challenge John Ranger together on this next straight here. You can see how close the Ferrari is to the Red Bull and how close the Red Bull is to the Mercedes. They're all going single file through this corner. It'd be crazy to go 2 by 2 here, or 2 wide I should say. But we continue on. The Red Bull seems to have closed a little bit through Maggots and Beckett, so with the battery that the Red Bull has, will we see an overtake being made here? No, we won't. Even the Ferrari wants a little bit of a charge here. But I think the best thing that he can do, as he gets onto the gravel a little bit, they both do, the Red Bull and the Ferrari, he really needs to get right behind this Mercedes here. 20 car DRS train, as we say, as long as average is not counted. You keep on going. Very strong racing from everyone, no matter the tires that you're on. So I'm guessing it's going to be hard medium for our hard runners, and then medium soft for our medium runners, and then maybe soft medium for our soft runners. But strategies galore here in Great Britain. But yes, no overtaking happening whatsoever due to this DRS train. Nick Hamrick doing a good job of just keeping with the Mercedes. I'm sure Jack Fletcher's happy to be in this position. Meanwhile, Chubb Tucker and BMF are going at it once again. look at the exit. Ooh, they make contact as BMF does maybe get wing damage. I think you're good behind. Meanwhile, Nadewell gets a time penalty. We're still within this DRS train, but man, that was some big contact for the Red Bull. And now look at the run that the Red Bull has. Very fast in a straight line, but meanwhile, Nick Hamrick's going to go for the lead of the race once again. And now Jack Fletcher might be interested. He is. They're getting very close through this corner. Do we see a send from the Ferrari maybe? Or do we see one from the Mercedes? No, we don't. But the lead has switched once again, and favor now goes to Red Bull and Nick Hamrick. Battery advantage goes to Nick Hamrick, then it's John Ranger, then it's the two Ferraris. That's in terms of track position and battery percentage. So here we go. Onto the battery a little bit for Matteo here, following closely his teammate. And I'm sure the Mercedes of John Ranger cannot stand seeing this Red Bull in front of him, because he knows that he does not want his championship rival to be right behind him. Because anything can happen when something is on the line. Meanwhile, we have a little bit of a battle on the back that I think we just missed. We'll keep on going. Chubb Tucker's getting close, by the way, on the AlphaTauri, and they make contact. They bump on a straight. Cannot buff draft F1 cars, but he certainly did try. The combined YouTuber AlphaTauri is blinking on battery though. So getting very close. This DRS train is gonna start breaking up now. Actually no, it won't. We're still pretty compact. So here we go. Let's look at the lead of the race once again. It will change here. Down the inside for John Ranger, but will Nick Hamrick keep it around the outside like we saw last time? Yes, he will. And they make a bit of contact, but Nick Hamrick stays on the track, and he's going to stay side by side, but he's going to give up the position to the Mercedes. Maybe he thinks what he did was a little bit dirty and didn't want to really give or keep a position that way. Respectable from the Red Bull driver. We'll keep on going, though. Thrilling racing here in Zoom Racing League Division 2. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. It supports the channel and supports our money fund for Freddie Razzle. Because that guy broke. Alright, anyways, we'll keep on going. Nick Hamrick could get the lead here. 100% battery, but I think he knows he's better off just staying behind and harvesting the battery, because John Ranger will continue to use his, while Nick Hamrick can just sit still. Meanwhile, Jack Fletcher, I mean, his tires, not sure really how they're doing. Meanwhile, Chubb Tucker and Combined YouTuber, are going at it. Combined YouTuber forced off the track. Combined YouTubers being under pressure by BMF now. Two Red Bull powered cars. And really dumping the battery was BMF here. Now he's gone wide of Cop's corner a little bit. He has the AlphaTauri in his mirrors. Maybe even in his blind spot right behind his car, but we don't know. So we'll keep on going. Meanwhile, for the lead of the race, Nick Hamrick is using a bit of battery, but he's not fast enough in the straight line to catch the Mercedes on this particular lap. So we'll stay behind for now. This is the first time the lead hasn't changed in these laps for a while now. No pit stops or big incidents yet. Meanwhile, Bubby is under pressure from Eric McNerney a little bit. This DRS train is on the brink of breaking. Now it is back and good to go. Impressive that we do have a 19-car DRS train going on. Very rarely does it stay this compact for this long, but we'll keep on going. Meanwhile, we keep on seeing these moments for John Ranger out of that corner there. Very small slides, but they are there. Could that be something important later on? Meanwhile, this DRS train is being broken up as BuzzGod has overtaken the Alfa Romeo, and now the Alfa Romeo might get overtaken by Logan Sargent, of all people, down the inside for Logan Sargent, and he's made that move sick. Brilliant move from the Williams, and now the train starts to break off near the tail, and actually I've lied again, because the train is back and going again. We'll have to see here, because I find it hard to believe that this train will stay at one piece, as Chubb Tucker made it past somewhere in the last corner, which is very impressive, I have to say. But now, will we see any changes in the top three? Doesn't look like we will. So we'll keep on going back a little bit. Could look at the Alfa Romeo and say some things, but I don't think anything too much is happening right now. In terms of the field, Combined YouTuber does look a bit close to the driver ahead of him though. All these drivers just trying to keep their composure, keep on going in that DRS ahead of them. One big move from any of these drivers could break the whole train, but I don't think they're too concerned about the train. They're concerned about their track position, so we will see. While on board with Jack Fletcher, he sees the top two battling right in front of him. I'm not sure how his tires are doing, but he seems to be doing an okay job right now. They're just maintaining his pace. So here we go. Nick Hamrick is a bit closer than he has been on these past laps. 2/10 is the gap onto the battery. He knows that this is the chance to overtake the Mercedes here, but will he go for it? He'll go for the inside line into Stowe corner, and the Mercedes doesn't really have much to say about that. He's not fighting the way he should, but now he's still on the inside line. He's managed to keep his Mercedes there, and he's broke a bit early. Now he has the Ferrari on his tail, pretty much literally on his tail. Jack Fletcher has recharged his battery, so has Mateo. They've done a good job of just saving the battery right now. So we'll continue on with this order for now. Here we go, another slide from John Ranger, sticking behind Nick Hamrick right now. Just kind of that slipstream effect down that old pit straight. Through Megan to Beckett now. Can the Mercedes keep it on pace with the Red Bull here? Does seem to be favoring the lower speed to try and get a good exit, but he hasn't really done so on this lap. Ferrari on the battery now. Not sure why, but he is. And now John Ranger will take the lead once again. Does Nick Hamrick get a switchback? He might try for one, but he doesn't quite get that traction that he needs. I'd like to see a send out of nowhere from one of these drivers. John Ranger back into the lead of the race. But a send would be brilliant. Meanwhile, Average, I believe, went into the pits. All the way in the back now. I'd like to see maybe an overtake through this corner here. That would be entertaining. It's just not too easy to get a run down this straight unless the other driver has a moment in front of you, and really weird braking from the Red Bull. We do have an incident though. Looks like Buzzgod has gone around, and yes, he has no wing damage on him, but I would imagine there would be, and Nadewell is also around. So a little bit of chaos is starting to happen here in Division 2. DRS train broken for the 4th time now in succession. And now, let's take a look here. Nick Hamrick got really close to John Ranger for a second there. I had to check the gap and check my eyes. So here we go. 3-second time penalty for Logan Sargent. But here he goes. So does Nick Hamrick take the lead once again? It looks like he's preparing to. The two Ferraris have swapped positions in the meantime, but for the lead of the race, John Ranger has been overtaken by Nick Hamrick once again, but now he's getting close to the Red Bull. Do we see a send into the Vale chicane? No, we don't. Easy off into the brakes, and now Jack Fletcher comes into the pits from his soft tires, and so does, I believe that's a Red Bull of BMF, and so does Combined YouTuber. So, undercut in play for Jack Fletcher. He could come out in the lead of this race very well. We'll have to see what goes on with the leaders here. If they battle it out, they could very well lose this win, both of them. Well, I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem for John Ranger. He can afford to not win this race, considering the positions everyone else is in right now. It's Prix currently P4. Not in contention for the win right now. John Ranger just barely having to peek at the Red Bull as Matteo breaks late, has a little bit of a rear lockup. In the meantime, Trent H is being overtaken by the Alfa Romeo. They're making contact. They're pushing each other around a little bit. On the soft tires, Trent H does get ahead of the Alfa Romeo though. Meanwhile, the other Mercedes of Chubb Tucker is really putting pressure on it. Try. You know, the Alfa Romeo is re-overtaking Trent H on the exit of Cop's corner. Bold stuff from him. John Ranger will not be able to overtake the Red Bull, but he does actually put on the battery. He is going for it, maybe. Tries to send it, goes deep in the process. Matteo is now going to have the outside line into the Vale chicane. He does back out of it, though. Very strange maneuvers from John Ranger now. He might be feeling the pressure a little bit. Meanwhile, on his medium tires, Jack Fletcher has really been set free. So, he is gaining time on this duo, this trio, this quartet, whatever you want to call it. He's gaining on him. Bold strategies, decisions from from the Ferrari, I should say. I mean, onto the mediums for Jack Fletcher from the soft tires. He's going to have to take those mediums a long way, but that probably makes me think now that Matteo is going to go onto the soft tires when he does choose to pit, and I'd assume that's going to be around lap 15. Now this top three is kind of spreading out a little bit. Itrai might have an opportunity to make things happen on this Ferrari. So he does gain a little bit. Gains a lot of it now. As John Ranger is kind of falling back from Nick Hamrick now too. Not too dramatically, but he is falling back just a little bit. As Matteo goes onto the grass again. Meanwhile, Jack Fletcher is gaining multiple seconds on everyone, and there is a yellow flag. Who is that around? Is that BuzzGod? Yes, it is. And there's another one around. It's an Alpha Tauri of Merc. Still corner and the exit of Maggots and Beckett's. We had two cars around at the same time. I was just hoping that wasn't Jack Fletcher. Just pushing the car well now. He'll get a bunch of passes done because of the drivers in the pit lane. Nick Hamrick will be one of those. Fastest lap goes for Jack Fletcher to 28.7. Really pushing on now, the Ferrari. He knows he has some stuff to do. We go back to the lead of the race that now goes to John Ranger. Matteo following behind. I think Matteo's been given the hurry up on the radio. He knows that he has to kind of rush the Mercedes when he has it right in front of his sights here. Honestly, there's a chance that the guys at Ferrari aren't even concerned about the Drivers' Championship. I know they're fighting for points over there, so they just need anything that they can, and no silly business on the way. Meanwhile, John Ranger will go into the pits, and Matteo will follow suit. Both cars locking up into the pits as Chubb Tucker takes the lead of the race. Mac will take P2 as he stays out. Everyone is now starting to come in, so let's take a look. Jack Fletcher, the flying Ferrari, is going to take it through Stowe Corner now. He really needs to have pulled a big gap on these cars ahead of him, or it will be a bad business for the Ferrari garage. So going down the pit straight, it does look like he's pulled a big gap on the cars behind him as John Ranger is just barely exiting the pits now. This gap will be worth seconds. Maybe, seems like it'd be close to 5 seconds here, and now Itrai and now BMF have overtaken John Ranger. And here's a reminder, BMF did that on merit too. He's pit already. So John Ranger and BMF will be fighting for position. This could be huge. And I know BMF is going to put up a fight. We have Williams around, Logan Sargent is around and through the grass. But we got to go back to John Ranger here. He is behind a Red Bull, who is going to be defending for his teammate, because Nick Hamrick could be winning this race given that John Ranger doesn't have anything to say about it. My YouTuber's right behind this Mercedes, by the way. May get a better exit through there. And now John Ranger, the notice kind of starts to sink in that he might not be winning this race if this Red Bull keeps him behind. Also has Prix, his championship rival, in front of him on 1 lap older tires. The undercut has proven its worth once again here. Meanwhile, Jack Fletcher takes the lead of the race with Nick Hamrick right behind him. What needs to happen is Nick Hamrick needs to overtake Jack Fletcher, and then Jack Fletcher needs to kind of just sit behind him, let him pull him along. Because Prix will be gaining on the pair. And now John Ranger will be going for BMF here. And BMF doesn't actually put up that much of a defense. Mateo on the soft tires might be loving life here. He's going to go for an overtake in Pop's corner down the inside. Absolutely flying past the AlphaTauri. Now the AlphaTauri may even get a switchback, but no. Mateo says no, he wants to get on the power again. He knows he needs to overtake this Red Bull with quick fashion. He's gained a lot of time through Meggetts and Beckett's alone, but not going to be fast enough. Meanwhile, Jack Fletcher is getting overtaken for the lead of the race, I should say. And there we go, Spubby in the meantime getting passed by Spanini. Not really sure how all these drivers have managed to get in the positions that they are. Seems the order has changed up a lot through all this overtaking. You know, look how close Mateo is. He's going to go for an overtake into turn 1. And he'll get it done easily. Well done from the Ferrari driver. Now he's got 2 drivers ahead of him that he could be fighting for the win. Meanwhile, I swear I heard 2 cars making contact, but I did not know. Meanwhile, John Ranger makes it past to try. John Ranger wants to get out there so he can win this race, overtakes his championship rival in the meantime. We do have another yellow flag though. That's Logan Sargent around again in the same corner that we saw him around a few laps ago. Prix still holding pretty well with the Mercedes. These two are championship rivals, so this could go either way. If these two made contact and both took each other out, that would put a huge spell on the end of the race and more importantly the championship. But I think these two know better. Yeah, Jack Fletcher's doing a good job of just keeping behind Nick Hamrick while these two kind of go at it. Similar tires for all of them. This could be a blockbuster finish. So Mateo is just trying to get close to them too. As HDR Diamonds, has something happened? Yes, he is. He's around and somewhere in the runoff he slots in behind his teammate. No idea how he's gone around there. Maybe some contact from another driver as these two are going at it. Turn 1 and 2. You see a dive from the Haas driver. That'd be exciting. Yes, we do around the outside. He's going to try keep it around the outside. We'll have the inside line for the next corner here. And it seems pretty simple here. But now Trent will get the better exit. He's right behind the Haas once again. And there he goes. Doesn't get DRS though. Spubby does. You know, Chubb Tucker and Combined YouTuber are going at it. Chubb Tucker kind of forcing Combined YouTuber into somewhere where he doesn't want to be. So, good defensive driving from Chubb Tucker. offensive driving maybe. Meanwhile, John Ranger has gained about a tenth to the 2 in front of him in this lap. So now Itchrai kind of has to tuck in and hope that anything goes his way, will go his way, as John Ranger takes another 2 tenths out of them, the 2 cars ahead. But that DRS for those 2 cars is kind of helping them out, kind of helping them escape. And while we go back with Trent, who's having some overtaken fun here. Now the 2 Alfa Romeos will swap position here. Let's go on board with McLaren to get a good view of this. Sway just saw the other Alfa Romeo get a bit naughty. And he might get better traction through this corner. He does, but will it be good enough? No, he's not going to go for an overtake there. He knows better. And here's your reminder. John Ranger cannot afford to finish anywhere below P18. Because that will give Fletcher a chance, and that will give Itchrai a definite win. So, oh, we have a virtual safety car for what? Is that for Logan Sargent all the way in the back? Yes, it is. No front wing on that car. You could almost predict it. It's like we got the actual Logan Sargent right driving that race car. So as everything slows down for just a second, everyone needs to time it just right. Does anyone get a drive-through? Drive-throughs could absolutely ruin this championship here. I'm really surprised that neither of these 2 have been caught out for speeding, or if they will be. They seem to be pushing these corners more than anything. And here we go. Average does get a drive-through penalty. Does anyone else, though? Doesn't look like it. Meanwhile, John Ranger has lost a lot of his advantage to the 2 cars ahead. So now Itchrai is on his back once again, and Mateo follows suit. This could be big no bueno for John Ranger now. For a second there, I thought Jack Fletcher could have had a look for the lead of the race, but 6 laps to go, I think he knows to wait a little bit more. Mateo running pretty low gears. I tell him to use higher gears to that corner if I had the chance, but I don't. So Jack Fletcher following pretty close now with Nick Hamrick. 4 tenths is the gap. I might go down a little bit through here. Red Bull just looking a little bit unsettled. Now onto the battery for the Ferrari. He's going to go for the lead of the race here. He's got the Red Bull on his battery. Will be around the outside for Jack Fletcher, but now he might try and switch back. He doesn't, but now this is going to let John Ranger get closer and closer. Kind of forcing the Red Bull to use his battery a lot. Meanwhile, how has Nadewell gotten 2 positions in 1? Oh, that's how. Spubby is around, and I'm assuming Mac had something to do with that, as he's letting cars by, and yeah, those 2 may be making contact, and now illegal overtake for Sway, having to give the position back to Mac. That's going to probably leave him vulnerable to the Haas, who has a drive-through here. As Spubby has retired from the session on track. Will not be a safety car or anything of that sort, but would expect something similar. If it was the DNF, like with damage in that. Okay, here we go. Mateo closer to the Williams than he has been previously. If he goes P4, that could be lovely. Meanwhile, at the front, what do we see from the Ferrari? Does he try and put on the charge for the lead of the race once again? He does have quite the run. even without battery, he does have the run. So does he try and dive down the inside? Yes, he will. He'll go side by side with the Red Bull, and he's going to take the lead of the race. Nick Hamrick tries around the outside, but does not have that kind of grip at this time. So John Ranger is going to keep following them through. But yeah, Jack Fletcher is into the lead of the race. A win might be all Jack Fletcher can do, and not to say that's not a bad achievement, but that won't be enough to be a champion tonight. Average has spun around, now he's going to serve his drive-through penalty. Would not be surprised if he simply retires, but maybe there's not that quit in him. Well, he's spent the pit lane, so I'd assume that he's going to retire. Let's try kind of dumping the battery here. He wants to get away from this pesky Ferrari here. Can he do so is the question. Mateo could have both of them here, honestly, because he does have the pace on the try. Doesn't really have it on John Ranger, but he will have DRS. John Ranger with significant battery over these two behind him. Chubb Tucker invited himself to this fight not too long ago, kind of having a say in that. All these cars just trying to weave their way through these corners and not do anything too special. Meanwhile, looks like Try could go for it here. On the Williams, Jack Fletcher has been demoted back to P2 as Nick Hamrick takes the lead once again. The Try is getting closer and closer to the John Ranger meanwhile. Just the fact that those two cars ahead of him have DRS, John Ranger isn't really able to catch the two. Meanwhile, Mateo has dropped back a little bit. Not sure what that's from, maybe a moment. Well, the Ferrari getting close. There's another yellow flag. That's for Average, who's gone around. Nothing doing with damage. Jack Fletcher chasing on the lead of the race. Try chasing down John Ranger. Mateo, for the first time in a while, has broken out of this DRS train. It could be crucial. Could be very crucial. Mateo kind of getting back into it though. 9/10, 8/10 the gap now. Needs to dump the battery to stay in it. Meanwhile, we have a nice little fight between Trent and Nadewell. Trent around the outside of this corner leading to the pit straight. And now McLaren will try and go on the battery to try and maybe overtake this Aston Martin here. It'd be brilliant through Steel Corner if he did so. We'll see. Just kind of have a run. Speaking of runs though, what does it try have in store for us here? Closest he's been in a while. Jack Fletcher won't be going for the lead of the race, so this is what we'll focus on. No fight between these two either though. Chubb Tucker won't try and fight Mateo. So we got lots of cars very, very close to overtaking each other, but not doing it. Meanwhile, Nadewell and Trent continue to fight. And behind them, Mack and Enrique McNuba continue to fight. Sway might have something to say to the Alfa Romeo driver, but keeps his mouth shut for now. Now, a win for Jack Fletcher, of course, is the most ideal situation, but I don't think that's really in store if he doesn't play it very strategically. So Jack Fletcher needs to know what he has to do, and I'm sure he's got Eruption in this corner telling him exactly that. You know, Chubb Tucker thought he had a moment to go and overtake Mateo, but he hasn't really done so, so won't get his opportunity this lap. All the cars go through Cop's corner again. Sway and oh, we got a little bit of ghosting situation here. Enrique McNuba and Sway kind of going at it here. They won't be overtaken through there, that's for sure. Jack Fletcher is not going to overtake on this lap. Neither is it Try, Mateo. They're both kind of on the battery. Mateo and Chubb Tucker, they know that one's chasing the other, so got to go defensive, got to go offensive, and wow. Mateo has gone onto the gravel once again. He's got to learn to stop doing that through Steel Corner, because the Mercedes nearly had a look. Meanwhile, this battle continues on with Eric McNerney and Sway. Sway keeping it ahead of the Alfa Romeo right now. Buzzcut gets the time penalty. Average gets another time penalty. This battle's continuing on. I mean, Try pretty much equal on battery. They are equal on battery. But Try does have the DRS and a lap older tires, so really about who wants it more. At the end of the day, this could still be a double podium for Ferrari if they play their cards right, but Matteo would have to put in some work on his soft tires that are definitely fading by now. They try it closest he's been for a while to John Ranger, so let's take a look. Getting closer and closer, and now the battery comes on. Now John Ranger will be overtaken by a Try, and there is the move. Now Chubb Tucker will try and size up a move on the Ferrari driver. Does he have the grip to send it around the outside? No, goes way too deep, and so does Matteo too. So, deep moments for both of those drivers. And now on to the final lap. Right now, John Ranger will win this championship. So let's take a look at the battle here. This battle is very crucial, the one here. 10 points the gap between a Try and John Ranger. Something monumental would have to happen for John Ranger to lose this championship right now. Meanwhile, Chubb Tucker will try his chances once again on the Ferrari. Just not fast enough in a straight line though, unless he sends it here, which he does, but he's not quite quick enough. Forces the Ferrari wide though, and will do it again. Tries to look for the inside, doesn't get it. So we'll keep on going. John Ranger, he definitely does have the advantage that he needs to re-overtake this Williams that's been a brilliant championship fight between them all along. Chubb Tucker goes down the inside of Matteo on Kopp's corner. Still the Ferrari stays ahead. He'll let the Mercedes by to have DRS next time around. And now John Ranger gonna go for the overtake here on a Try. Meanwhile, does Jack Fletcher have what it takes to go for the lead of the race on the final lap? He sent it down the inside and they make contact. Jack Fletcher stays there. They're side by side. They'll be side by side through the Vale chicane later on the brakes for the Red Bull, but still around the outside goes Jack Fletcher. They're wheel to wheel through the final corner. What will it be? Who will win this race? Jack Fletcher does have a bit of a moment and will not win it. Nick Hamrick leads and wins the race. Itchrai goes P3, John Ranger P4, Matteo P5 and completely destroys his front wing. But Combined YouTuber goes P6 and Chubb Tucker is demoted to P7, BMF down to P8, Spinini P9, Trent goes P10, and I'll read you the rest later, but the facts are set in stone. Your Zoom Racing League championship in Division 2 goes to John Ranger. And here's the rest of our order. Diamonds in P11, followed by Nadewell, Mack, Eric McNerney, Sway, Merck, Buzzgod, Average, and plenty more. But we have some things to discuss now. So, interview booth as we can see. Let me just check to make sure the math is true. Yep, math would be true. So I'll wait to get everyone in the booth here. We have Jack Fletcher, Nick Hamrick, John Ranger, who didn't finish on the podium, but he finished on the top. And so I think, yeah, just had to make sure about 4 times that the math is right. We'll bring in Itchrai, number P3 for Itchrai. Congratulations, Itchrai. You had a battle with John Ranger on the final laps, and you ended up being on top of it. But P2 in the championship for you, so how does it all feel?
It was good. It came so close. So close. Unfortunate, but I knew John was gonna win that shit by a long shot. So hey, great race, everyone. It sucks that Nick and Jack were so far ahead in the last 5, 6 laps. I think it's been a really fun last few laps. So glad I overtook John on lap 25 because I've tried on lap 26 before and not gotten it done. So glad I did it with enough ERS as well. So
Yeah, good
good race.
defensive and good offensive from you. So, good job. I mean, end of the season next, we'll see you on F124. So, until then, enjoy your little summer break, I guess you could call it, before we're racing again.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for commenting.
Of course, have a good night, man.
You as well.
All right, and P2 goes to the Ferrari men. Jack Fletcher, P2 for you in the race, nearly had P1, had a little bit of a moment out of the final corner, which might have costed you, but hey, great effort from you. P3 in the championship overall, so talk us through it all.
Yeah, it's pretty good. This is probably the most prepared I've been for a race in a while, so I knew I had to win and for some tomfoolery to happen to get the championship. So just a great race up front there with Nick. He did a really good job, really clean racing. And yeah, good on Mateo for getting up there as well. I'm not sure where he ended up finishing at the end there,
P5.
but P5, good. So good points. Interesting to see how the constructors play out. But yeah, pretty good weekend.
Yes, sir. I mean, definitely did have a lot of, like, I don't know, I don't want to hate on your last weekends, but there was definitely a bit more pace in you this weekend compared to others, so good to see that preparation. Got pretty close, but hey, got F124 to focus on now if you still plan on racing with us next season, so yeah, until,
Absolutely, man.
mhm.
Looking forward to it.
Yep, have a good summer break.
You as well. Thanks for broadcasting. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Good night. Alright, and finally, Mr. Nick Hamrick won the race in Silverstone. I mean, great pace from the start, qualifying, won it by a landslide, and then the race wasn't as simple as qualifying was, but got it done at the end of the day. Talk us through it.
Yeah, really good race. I'm really happy with that. I'm just glad I finally won it. I saw I think me pitting lap 13 was really what decided that. I saw Jack Fletcher pit. I was like, I gotta do something about that. He was just gonna undercut us and go run off into the distance. So yeah, and then Ranger pitted too late. He could never catch back up.
Yeah. I mean, you had that last lap battle with Jack Fletcher. It looked like you were going to lead it pretty easily once you overtook him, but then he had something to say about that. So, got pretty close, but you managed all the pressure very well. So, good job, and have a good night.
You too.
All right. And then, of course, I mean, who else would it be? My fellow commentating man won't be next season, but here we go. It's John Ranger, du bist Weltmeister. Welcome to the booth. You've won the championship, man.
Yeah, I was telling the boys on the team that it was a bit of a revenge from I think what was it, season 3, season 4. I'm pretty sure season 3, where I was in a position to win the championship in Singapore, and the game froze, and I was in the wall and DNF'd. So, many seasons later, here we are, 7 seasons later. It's great. It feels good. It's a little bit bittersweet, but yeah, I'm real happy.
How is it bittersweet, man? I honestly don't understand.
Well, bittersweet because this was my last race in Zoom Racing League. Tomorrow will be my last broadcast in Zoom Racing League as well. So yeah, I'm happy to quit as a champion. I think my services will be better appreciated elsewhere, and that's what I'm going to do starting this fall. So yeah, I'll miss racing in ZRL. Who knows? I might be as a reserve or eventually coming back. I'm not getting F124 anytime soon either. So yeah, it is what it is. But I'm a champion. I'm still gonna be around, in the chats or whatnot, just to troll everyone and be a little bit of a dick. And yeah, I'm gonna once I'm done with you, Nathan, I'm gonna go ahead and drink some tequila,
Crack it.
maybe some other alcoholic beverages, and just have an enjoyable night. And thank you for broadcasting this season, by the way, and thank you for being a really awesome partner in Division 1 for broadcasting with me. That was really fun times, and it sucked kind of the season being alone the entire time without you. But you know, you're too busy being too good in Division 1, so there you are.
Yeah, I try. I mean, it
I just
was.
want to thank you for what you do.
Yeah, of course, it was lonely in the booth tonight, and I just had a few moments where I do wish my Pookie was still there, but no, he's out there winning championships now. They grow so fast. So, yeah, unfortunate to see you go, but you know, I'll be happy to hear your yapping in the general chats every so often. Hopefully, we'll have you back as a broadcaster one day, because you know, you were the one to commentate my first win, and we'll see tomorrow if you're gonna be there to commentate the last one. Well, not the last one
That
in
would
my
be that would be awesome if you wanted to tomorrow, Nathan. So
Yeah.
comment your first win, and my last comment, my last broadcast, I comment your first win in Division 1.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm you know, maybe in the near future, who knows? I tend to change my mind sometimes, so who knows what could happen? But I mean, I think Zerl could do a lot better than a stuttering French Canadian as a Division 1 broadcaster. So I know there's plenty of people out there that want to take that spot and they'll enjoy it. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the summer having an absolutely free schedule. I think I'm really looking forward to that currently.
Freedom is wonderful. But yeah, I mean, it's been hell of a night for you. Won the championship, and it's as your final goodbye, you know, in terms of racing here. And yeah, you will be remembered. And you've won Mercedes the championship too. So congratulations. And yeah.
Thank you. I want to say also really congratulations to Nick Hamrick, Jack Fletcher, Shry, Wild Pros too. Sadly, he wasn't there tonight, but I mean, these guys, you know, I was first pick, but it was really fun being able to fight with these guys weekly, and you know, I've had many fun races and clean battles with those guys, and you know, I know some of them will turn up in Division 1 next season, and they absolutely deserve it. So congrats to the top drivers there in Division 2, with which I've raced multiple times. It was a lot of fun this season.
Absolutely beautiful. The speech too. But yes, alright. So I guess that's where the chapter ends for you here in Zoom Racing League.
Yeah, it's goodbye for racing. But I'll be back in the booth tomorrow evening. I'll try to give my best broadcasting I can for the send off, and then it is what it is, you know.
Alright, well, everyone in the chat, be sure to give this man a farewell to John Ranger. But yeah, he's done a lot here. Have a great night, John Ranger. It's been a pleasure working with you and racing with you.
Thank you very much, Nathan. The pleasure was likewise. Thank you for holding up the broadcasting in Division 2 this season. That was great.
Of course. No, get out! Alright. Well, it's been, like I said, hell of a night for not just John Ranger, but everyone. Racing was up to par as with Silverstone standards for racing, and we did a great race, had a brilliant D2 championship. At the end, it's Mercedes who topped it in Division 2, and it's John Ranger who topped it in Division 2. It's Shry, Jack Fletcher, everyone put up a fight, but the win was all up to Mercedes at the end of the day. Tune in to D1 tomorrow to check out how that fight goes. We have a little bit of I don't think we really have a championship fight anymore, but we do have some brilliant action in the midfield. I mean, technically it is still possible for Cam Bourne to win the whole championship. Ryan Newton might need to just pass away or something, but Cam Bourne could win it. Ferrari can still have a little bit of a shot. In fact, all the top 5 teams could have a shot at the Constructors' Championship. So we got a lot to fight for here tomorrow in Division 1. So stay tuned. And of course, give your goodbyes to John Ranger. But for now, I'll give my goodbye to you. Have a great night, everyone. Peace, y'all.